so especially if I've already spent a chunk of the day hot, I sure as hell.
No, I'm sweaty lady.
Oh, I know. No, I understand. Yeah, I was earlier.
I did have my
That's why I have low tolerance.
air conditioning of my vents in my car going straight up my armpit hole.
Yeah. Yeah. I do love AC in the car. That's for damn sure. So, I don't know what you mean by setting up the bioresonance machine, but what if we just like check in a little bit first and then do whatever?
But I'll just show you, this is it.
Yeah.
It's got a coil in there. It's a 6-foot cord, so it does need to be, when it's running, it does, wherever we are, where we're like it's laying between us, it has to be a good 4 feet away from electronics with a memory.
Okay.
Like your cell phone, my
Okay.
hearing aids that are programmable,
interesting.
any electronics that could have a memory wiped.
Wow.
Because
Even
it's a
if not on-
magnetic resonance
Okay.
machine.
Ooh, that's intense. That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So we'll that means I'll put my office away because I'm guessing we're gonna do it.
I mean, if it were here, that'd be far enough.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
I
also
do
doesn't have to
it
be.
because it also has to be away from the machine that runs it. So I mean, like it's
Okay. When you're ready, when we're ready, you can tell
Yeah.
me to set it up. My brain's not working.
super simple. I brought this just in case, but it doesn't seem like we need it.
Oh, cute. Hey, let's do it.
Nice.
Doing a commercial. I've never seen one of these before. Battery powered. Wow, it is way more powerful than.
It's quiet too.
It is. I want one.
And that's the low setting. It goes higher than that.
I want one. I want one for sure. Because this would help so
$30?
much in my room. Because it gets hot up there. You know, the AC doesn't work as well up there.
I don't like a fan coming down from above either.
And we
It
don't
dries
have
out
one
my
of those,
eyes, so
yeah.
I set it up and have it go from like here down my body when I'm sleeping.
I don't like air moving across me.
Oh.
And I don't really like the sound. So yeah, this I could sleep through this. Whereas like the fan we have going on upstairs right now, I can't sleep with it on. It's too loud, even on doors. So I have a piece of bacon in the fridge for you. Would you like a piece of bacon? Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't a piggy when I could have been, and I sleep.
Yay!
Can you get your bacon happy face? Yes. Your bacon happy face. You got bacon in the fridge for you.
I was thinking about that. Like, why don't I buy that more often? We
Yeah.
never buy bacon. I never.
And so I only do it in big batches. And Fred's actually just had a really good price on 3 pounds, Fred's 3 pounds of that bacon. And I think normally it's 25. I usually buy it if it's 15, and it was 10 or 12, something like that. So it was 12, I think. So I watch out for those
bake
deals.
it, or do you put
I
it in a
bake it.
pan?
No, that's way too messy.
Because otherwise you have to keep pulling it
I hate
out,
that. No, I'm not.
draining the grease into a can.
I mean, that you do end up having to do that, but it's
But
one
you do
pan.
it afterward.
Yeah,
not like
and I use a dry, like racks. It's up on racks. So yeah, that's the I just do a big ass batch.
I wonder if you take bacon and put it in a food dehydrator and make bacon jerky.
I don't know. You have a dehydrator, don't you?
That's what I'm thinking about, because it comes in racks.
Worth trying.
I would probably want to put something at the bottom though, in case it did drip grease into it.
Oh right, you would not want that in your dehydrator.
No. Seems like it would be a permanent issue after.
Oh, I guess we don't need to have this on anymore. It's just really impressive. Put back with your. That's awesome because you can have that outside. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, totally.
Love it when you introduce me to new things.
More expensive, but even better than that one. We have one that sits on top of a 5-gallon bucket.
Oh.
And it has a little hose that goes into it, and it's got a misting function. So when you're outside, it acts like air conditioner because it like blows the fan and mists on you.
That's awesome.
We put googly eyes on it and call it Mr. Fan.
I love it. I need one of those too. Because I would probably spend a little more time outside if I could mist. You know, like I've been in Phoenix before when they, or a really hot place like that. They've got those misters outside of a lot of businesses, and it feels great when it's really hot out.
We took it to Oregon Country Fair last year, and people were like,
Genius.
"Oh my god."
Genius.
We're like only our little 10 by 10 air conditioning tent, and people were like, "Oh, do you want money?"
Yeah. I mean, that's so relieving, isn't it? Like, it makes a big difference. Shit, yeah.
And as our cooler ice melted, we just like used that water. Because you're out there camping.
Oh, wait, you said cooler ice. Okay. At first I thought you said polar ice, and I'm like, we jumped to the ice caps? Like, yeah, anyway.
No.
Okay. I lost it. Okay. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Cool. You know, good stuff. So, what would you like me to most know about you? Oh, we're gonna hang out for the next little while. Like,
Well, I wanted to check to make sure that even if it's recording, that there's areas of privacy.
yeah. What we can do, we can always mute and turn the what I do to indicate it's got to be cut is I take the camera off.
But it's live though.
Yeah, but it's unlisted.
It's what?
Unlisted. I never go public
Because
from the
when we were
get-go.
hanging out at the other house.
There was some stuff we never published because we talked about stuff.
Okay, just
Yeah.
checking. I don't know.
Yeah,
and
there-
I know
there
that
was-
I was like, I think this person doesn't maybe want me to be hired there because they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah,
And you
there's
were like,
a
really?
lot.
And I was like, oh.
That's not even ever been published. I almost because I forget.
Right.
Does this have to be reviewed or is this okay to go live?
Right.
And so I forget, and so then they are all unlisted. But now that I've got transcription, easier transcription, it's real easy to go through and cut that out.
Do you want to put this bacon fat into the compost or throw it away?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's easy, and nothing personal should be out there.
Well, what I can tell you is that, and you know the whole situation
Yeah.
of how long it's taken, and there's absolutely, like it's a long process that might never happen, but
yeah,
if
yeah.
the right pressure was put on at the right time. I know for sure, I think I told you, I might have told you, that, we got a government grant.
That sounds vaguely familiar. You did or they did?
They did.
Okay. And then did it get cut?
Well, they got a government grant that didn't come through for a while, and then they had to be like, the government, Oregon sued the government, was like, you have to pay out grants to people, they've already qualified for these grants, and so they got a grant, and the government was like, okay, fine, but you have to still spend it by the original specified date. So money that was supposed to be given in January, which is why there kept being hiccups about me being hired, just got given out, and they've got 3 months to spend $150,000. If you don't use it, you lose it. So now it went from like 3 miles per hour to how fast can we go over the speed limit without getting pulled over in all of our operations, and the money has to be spent specifically within the peer program.
And so it's not even a whole calendar year, it's like a fiscal year, or whatever. So it's a fiscal year. So, wait a minute, so January to August? When does it?
September 30th.
September 30th, okay, yeah, that's the end, that's right.
And so
So
they've just
fucking
hired
dumb.
a bunch of people to do marketing, and like a week we have to do like videos of ourselves and
Well,
media director and blah, 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 blah. And all of us are like, well, some of the trans people on the group are like, I have body dysphoria. And I'm like, I have body dysmorphia. So I just kind of play a game where how bad can I look to make other people feel better about themselves?
I'm like, yeah, except I do have some limits. I have some limits where I just can't.
Like they asked me if they could share a picture that I'm like, oh, I look so stupid in that, but I'm also like, all right, whatever. I mean, like, I don't look like.
Yeah.
It's just that I have my hat, my pink hat, and it's like covering most of my face, and my hair is like.
Yeah, you can't really tell it's you.
I'm like, it is representative of what I look like. I just wouldn't
Will you
choose
hand me
it in a
that blanket,
photo.
please? Yeah. So now all of a sudden it's going really fast, and so you have a bunch of unexpected stuff to do.
With all my concentration because I can't
Yeah.
move heavy things haphazardly with my back
Good
still.
job. Yeah, good
It's
job.
still growing itself back.
Growing back.
Growing itself back.
I want to put my legs towards you. Can I do something there where they're either
Yeah.
over you or under you?
And we also can always rearrange pillows if there's too damn many. You want your feet covered or uncovered?
I don't care.
Okay, let's do
If you don't care, then look at that. That's adorable. Look into your feet.
Pay extra for that.
You do a little puppet show with your feet. I'm the right one, you're the left one. Okay, so so is this a good thing or?
It's a good thing.
Okay,
Part of the conversation has been, how do we all want to spend the money?
right, okay.
They want our voices.
Mm-hmm.
And they had said that, originally some of it was that, oh my God, I put on this fucking sunscreen yesterday and I can't get it off.
Oh.
It's like one of those, titanium, mineral,
No.
white.
Oh, I got, okay.
and
Yeah.
it's just like, I just see, it's still just so white from certain angles.
And I hate how those feel, and so I rarely
You what?
do anything like that, even though I know I should, because I just
went
freaking hate how it
paddleboarding
feels.
with Phoenix.
Oh,
and
yeah?
It was in the freaking heat of the day, and my little white skin, I
That's
haven't
right,
been
you're super
exposed.
sensitive,
So I was
yeah.
like, I'm gonna stop and get 50 SPF, and I got it. And it sprayed it on. It said it was sheer. It was not sheer, and I swam, and it was still white. It was like I was wearing
Ew.
pants. Sunscreen was so protective.
It's hilarious.
You tell I was in the water all day yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good. I didn't get sunburned, but I feel dry and itchy, like it just absorbed me.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm taking it back because I don't want to do $20 for that experience over and over. I have to scrub it out of my bathing suit
Oh,
with like
shit, no.
dish soap.
No, bullshit.
I'm so pissed.
Fuck that.
And not burned.
Yeah.
Part of the discussion has been, this was initially, there's been a little bit of change of tune on account of the time crunch. But it was like, we can hire more peers. We want a bigger team. We can help more people. And everyone's like, snap, snap, snap. This is great. And excitement. And I said, I want to see a peer that's like me. I want to see another person with chronic illness on the team because the wind was taken from my sails when I found out I can't serve my friends because it's a conflict of interest.
Oh shit, yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. I would like to have a conversation with them about like, okay, now that we're doing grant money and it's not going to be like we can serve people that are not through insurance. It can be via
that's a big
scholarship-based.
difference. Oh wow.
Right now, while we have the money, so
Yeah.
only for the next 3 months, and we can't until we're completely onboarded, and neither myself or the other person is completely onboarded. Only one person is, and they're on vacation for the next 2 weeks.
Motherfuck, yeah.
So, and oh, by the way, that person who's on vacation is also the administrative assistant who gets a lot of what we need done for onboarding done. So there's a like a stalling happening.
Yeah,
It's
damn.
just like this, like.
And it's so shitty that it's all created by this dumbass thing. You got it. We didn't give it to you, but you got to spend it in 3 months. And there's really in the before times when there was still some reason and logic in the world, that kind of thing would change.
But
they would push the date back.
Yes.
That's what I mean. They would push the date back. You'd still get the full amount of time.
Yes, but we are going to make a huge push for marketing endeavor in the next
Yeah,
3
that's the way to
months.
do it anyway.
And that way, once we all have our DMAPs, which is
Right.
where we're waiting for from Medicaid to bill with Medicaid, we will have people who are like,
Yeah,
I want to be seen
that's
by
the right
somebody. I want to
order.
be seen by somebody. And so we will be billing Medicaid, even though blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, because it takes
And
time
I'm gonna
takes
ask
more
them.
time to build that.
It does. It takes like 2 months for them to get that fucking paperwork back.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is why it was supposed to be like, oh, take your time, onboarding.
Yeah.
You can't build.
No, I meant the marketing stuff.
but
the marketing
is
takes some
kinda-
build up.
It works well with how long it also takes to get the paperwork
Exactly.
through.
Yeah.
So, that's one thing. I'm gonna float the idea, since it will be scholarship based. If it could be something like, could people in my community who have expressed wanting peer support with someone who has chronic illness experience work with me as a segue, like if it were something like we can get you seen in the next like over the next like for maybe 4 to 6 visits until we get another person on and those and then they can take over that
okay,
caseload.
so that you don't have to wait.
So those people
So
who are in my
short term.
community. That being said, they don't know names.
They don't. I mean, so yeah, I bet it's one of those loophole kind of things where if you go by the absolute letter of the law, then yeah. But the kind of thing that like nobody ever checks.
I kind of just like I gotta keep my social media like say you went to Be Well and was like, can I see that someone who does work with you know chronic illness? They'll be like, we have someone, and then they saw on mine like pictures of you and me.
Right.
And be like, do you know each other?
Yeah.
And be like, we met as peers and now we're hanging out on professionally. Like either we knew each other before and lied about it, or we crossed the line.
So yeah, I think people like me that are on there all over the place. Yeah, you can't. But yeah, people that you don't have all that crossover with.
Like Troy.
Yeah, sure.
Troy
yeah.
has expressed to me wanting to work.
Yeah,
with me,
but yeah,
with
you
them.
yeah.
And I'm like, I can't with friends, and she's like, I guess we'll have to stay acquaintances until for now.
Right. So yeah, that really is a semantics.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's cool. Well, I mean, yeah, that's exciting though, and it's a good idea too. I mean, I guess it could come down to if it's somebody who just is obviously my friend and I can't work with them at all. Is that the case, or is it this idea of
can't
this?
be done because of insurance fraud? We're not billing insurance. It can be seen first through scholarship,
right?
And as a transitionary period until.
And it still sounds stupid.
Work.
Like you go to somebody you know. you want to work with people you know. That's like
it's
literally
hard in the mental health world though. It's not like, exactly the case, you know.
I know. Yeah, that's right. So okay, so there's that one
like,
complexity.
If suicidal or something. I mean, and or like you got in a fight with them, or say it's like a longtime friend, and then something romantic happens.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Anyway, that is information that you can just be aware of. But what I think, but the conversation has been broached and everyone's a big yes, definitely verbally, but the timeline is questionable when it's like someone who has chronic illness experience, and they said originally that they could be paying for people to get the training done, but now they're like, we need to focus on getting you two onboarded maybe in October, but then they'll be out of it. I don't know if they'll have that money, so I'm keeping a close ear to the heartbeat of that, but you're the first person I thought of.
Thank you.
And I said, when you're ready, I told her, I was like, do you want me to be, fielding the community? Because, and they were like, she was like, no, we're probably until October just because of all the stuff that we've got moving so quickly right now.
Right.
And I was like, that's fair. Well, when you're ready, let me know.
And that would honestly be so perfect for me because Lyft is what I most need to replace. And
it's not a lot of money.
No, it doesn't.
More money with Lyft than
not necessarily. Like if I'm too tired, I can't drive.
Right.
And I do have a lot more capacity than I've had in a super long time. Like, you know, today did include some Lyft driving, and that takes a lot out of me. And so, like, if I hadn't done a couple of hours of that this morning, then I would have more now. And I'm more energized by the stuff I do with Jeanette, or, you know, I mean, working with people. I'm way more energized by that than getting in my goddamn car and wondering if I'm going to get poisoned by the next person's cologne, you know.
Oh
so
my gosh, speaking
it
of
would be real to replace that real quickly.
Acupuncturist, but his house, he works out of his house and it stinks. I told he works for Be Well, contracts through them, and I told Beth, I was like, does anybody mention it? She's like, I have gotten some feedback, and I was like, it's not just dirty, it smells.
Yeah,
She was like, I might have to talk to him. We'll see what we can do about it. I'm thinking he's mobility impaired, and I think that could be playing a big role in it. Because I mean, to the point where he should probably be walking with these, you know, like traditional word cripple.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, and that would be I like. I could imagine people having a hard time at not saying anything. They wouldn't say,
No,
I don't
I'm
feel
telling
comfortable.
You, it smells like crack house.
Oh, gross. Gross.
It smells like.
But people won't say, they just won't go back.
That's right.
And so he's losing business undoubtedly.
And putting a bad look on Bebop.
Yeah.
And so, but his intelligence can't be matched.
Really?
He works, he teaches,
Mm-hmm.
he works at
Oh.
NUNF as a teacher.
Oh, cool.
He used to work at OCOM and up at OHSU in the neurology department doing acupuncture research for people with neuropathy.
That's amazing.
He teaches, like, he doesn't do Chinese medicine, he does like ortho acupuncture.
So like he's a good example of somebody who gets lost because of these illness or this physical thing, and that's who he should be like honored and revered, and like, let's make it happen for you. Like, this is the issue, let's overcome it.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, I only get so many visits a year.
Mm-hmm.
If I run out, we do like a trade.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, I just don't want. Next time I talk to Dessa, I just like James. I must call him James because I had a nightmare about my ex-husband last night. But Riley, so his name is fresh in my mind. But Riley came home from my appointment last night and he goes, "You smell like crack house." I go, "Do I?" And he goes, "I mean, you smell like something that's not familiar to me, and I know you were at crack house, so
I'm extrapolating."
Yeah, that's it. And I was like, I took my clothes off, and every time I come home, I take off my clothes and throw them in the washer because it stinks.
And does it get in your hair too? Yeah.
It stinks. I showered last night, but it stinks like deep layers of Palo Santo and whatever Palo Santo's covering up.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what happened with him. I think he had to move out. My housemate had to move out because there was smell that nothing could be done.
For massage?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Jeanette's moving in on Saturday.
Right.
So, have you ever seen did you ever watch Seinfeld? Did you see much of Seinfeld?
It was around, and
Okay.
I don't love stressful comedy.
Totally. Yeah. But there's a perfect one. The whole episode is about BO. And the BO leaving, like the body leaving the odor behind. And so it got left in the car and it got all over their clothes. It got in their hair. They couldn't get it off no matter how much they showered, if they touched somebody. So I'm like, that's my fucking life. Like, that is, the odor just happens to be cologne or whatever, and it won't fucking come out. And you got to go take a shower, and, like, that's my life. And it sounds like this person is doing it too.
High piled carpet.
Oh my God, I hate carpet so much, especially in a dirty place.
Down in some stuff. And there's like the dust on your outside railing, outside on the patio, like that, and like all baseboards and stuff.
Oh God, he needs an air scrubber. That would honestly help. It really would.
And there's a fireplace.
Oh God.
That I don't know what he's burning in there, like documents maybe, because it is.
So his
down pile of ash inside this fireplace, and I think
all of these are things that are hard on his body. All of these are inflammatory issues.
Well, I thought to myself, I mean, like, you'd have to get a fucking shop vac to get. It's like a yard debris bag worth of ash in that fucking garbage. I'm like, how is that? What is even happening here?
Yeah.
And like yesterday, I sat in a chair to put on my shoes, and I felt like I smelled like. When a dog pees in the house too much.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And,
this is beyond.
The man put 3 needles in my back and did more for me.
Right.
In 45 seconds than going to the chiropractor 3 times did. My back was set. It set itself.
Nice.
Like, boop, 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 and my body went, and put my fucking back into place. And I'm like.
Amazing. That's amazing.
It's amazing.
Right.
Like.
He needs to be accessible.
Aficionado.
Right.
Special.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if I could float the idea to Dessa, like, could it be part of his contract? Because listen, also with us, if we're not on site, that saves you rent money. Do we get stipends? Like, could we have a work from home stipend? Because like I'm paying for air conditioning, or I'm paying for electricity, or I'm paying for these things.
And if he was in the office, it would be
is like specifically that we're virtual. Like there isn't a place for us to do our job on site. So then, but like also with him, he he could be in the clinic, but I guess it's harder for him to come and go. And because he purchased the H-bot, but I'm thinking I was not getting that fucking machine with that condensed condensing air in that fucking tube.
No,
Like,
that's
I don't want this air open.
No one should be using that. So, I mean, yeah, so it would be like figuring out a way to make it possible for him to do what he does, but not in his house. Or it's paid to get the house all cleaned up.
I think, and it's tidy. It is tidy.
It's just dirty.
Tidy, just dirty.
Unhealthy kind of dirty, though. That you can't, unhealthy dirty.
And it's like juxtaposed to having needles put in your skin.
Yeah.
You know? So like,
yeah.
my nervous system's a little like, I want this, and so I'm like, I mean, they
creative.
Deep shampooed our carpets and like for a company that does it between apartment rentals for my place did a poor job, and then I had to call them, and they came back, and the guy that was the manager came back and did it, and he was like, "You're right, this was a bad job. I'm gonna have to talk to that guy that was sent out here. It was supposed to be someone else." And that day a new guy came, and he
didn't know what he was doing.
Didn't do a good job. I think it was like it was early in his non-supervised times, like, and so, but they use something that's like orange based, like citrus based cleaner, and so it doesn't have like a pesticide chemically smell, and eco-friendly. And I'm like that could go a long way. They were in and out, and like they did they're corner to corner.
Probably it takes a little longer on something that dirty, though. Like, your place isn't.
My place hadn't been cleaned for 19 years. The woman lived in there.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was good. It was done well. I think initially, like, maybe like a deep, like a mealy, like a vacuum, a deep vacuum, and then a shampoo.
Yeah.
I think could be good. I think you only need to do it like, I don't even know how often you have to do it.
Right. No, it just, because if that's 20 years of buildup or whatever,
right.
Once it's clean, and then it's easier to maintain.
Right. Maybe like have it in his contract like every other year, a carpet shampoo, since this is the office. And like maybe once a month a cleaning lady come to like wipe down the walls.
And the H-bot. The H-bot should probably be well cleaned.
Yeah, and I have a sneaking suspicion that those sheets aren't being switched between patients because everybody gets their clothes on.
Right, and there's only so much he can do. Yeah, you got to figure out where can you reduce.
Yeah, movement, energy. Yeah. So I'm gonna mention it to Jessica.
Yeah.
They went to high school together, so they are close enough and like have a good relationship that it might be Jessica might be like, okay, let's see what we can do.
Yeah,
like, it's not to be rude, but she hasn't been to the place. I said, you gotta go there. It's not okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't represent Big Wow Wow.
Yeah.
Like, I can't recommend people to go see him.
And you've already been able to tell her that.
I didn't go in that far in depth.
Okay.
I did mention, has anybody said anything? She's like, some people, I was like, it's dirty. And I said something to him about it. And I was like this, I'd love to see a dress. And it was.
What's happening? Is there like a.
Oh,
they've got a flat tire.
No, they're dragging.
No, it's the flat tire.
No.
They're dragging a little bit of their bumper too. They've probably just gotten a little accident.
Somebody just. The wheel was wobbling.
Yeah, that's multiple things making noise there. Well, shit, dude. Yeah, well.
And he did clean the area I pointed to, but I didn't do a good job with my feedback. I know I didn't use my skills, and I was kicking myself for the whole week. I'm like saying it to Riley. He's like, "This is bothering you a lot," and I'm like, "It just matters to me a lot."
Right. Well,
like,
and you
I want this person to be uplifted in community and want their skills to help people.
But it's a perfect example of somebody being expected to do all the things by themselves.
Or not asking for help.
And not asking for help. But if he was in a clinic, a lot of those things would be done for him.
Yeah.
And so him expecting himself as well as the clinic expecting him to provide all of those services is unreasonable.
I think there's a certain amount of lack of dotting of I's and crossing of T's.
Yeah, right.
Like expressed expectations, because
Yeah.
I think that they're probably like,
Just
yeah,
don't
sure, if you feel good about it.
They just don't think
they've
about
never
it.
even followed up to be like, is
She
this
should have gone it.
realistic?
Someone should have gone and looked at the space for sure. Yeah, now they need to for sure because they're losing business undoubtedly. They're losing business.
But yeah, I hope you can be up here.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
that would be cool because I mean I really am. My ideal scenario would be some decent pay. Like it doesn't even have to be a lot. Like $20 is still better than nothing, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's via Zoom or
right, that's
out in the community.
right by choice though. So I mean
And
that's
your own
really
hours.
important and set my
I
own
don't
hours.
know how many hours you would have to agree for them to be like, yes, we'll take on another person.
Yeah, I
You know,
guess
like
it would be
how-
tough if they want
what
20.
is part-time?
Right, 20 would be hard for me, I think.
Right. But I think that they have an understanding around that specifically for us chronic illness peeps.
Yeah, I'm not sure that. I mean, do you know anybody who could work 20 hours, like in our field, in our zone, that could work 20 hours? I mean, Azaria somehow does it.
I suppose I was about to say.
She already does it. She has a lot of flares. She has a lot of flares, and it's not, it's not just work, but I'm not sure.
Doesn't have another choice. She needs that money.
I'm right. I fucking hate that whole story. But so, yeah, I'm not sure that there's many of us who really can tolerate 20 or more. I think 15 would be pushing it for me. But
I
when
did
it's
4 hours today, and I feel like I could have done more. If I didn't have plans to come here, I would have gotten back on my fucking computer and finished some other things.
yeah, and I can be highly productive, but not every day. That's the thing. It's not 5-6 days a week. Like it's.
I don't
4.
know. I'm into it
3.
enough that I think I might be able to do more than I realize.
When it's something you're energized by, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty energized by the stuff I'm doing with Jeanette. I'm very energized by it, but also like I really need I need help. But my assistant's coming back. I'm talking to her on Thursday. She's ready to work.
Young girl?
Yeah, the college gal. But I trained her for like 3 years, and so she's gonna be able to just like jump in and do a lot. She wants to work. I gotta raise the money, but that's one of the things she's gonna help me do is get the business fundraiser. But yeah, so we're gonna be able to. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of left brain going on instead of right brain, which would be actually like interacting with people, the people that I want to talk to and work with, instead of I'm on a website on the back end of WordPress, creating product categories. Like it's easy, but it's not the best use of my time and energy.
About those air scrubbers, I had some thoughts about them for a little bit. I also looked through, I used chat, to like verify some things I was concerned about. And I don't think that there is one that she's got that she's touting. I know one of them creates ozone. The other one is intermittent negative ions. It switches between negative and positive.
That's not good for everybody.
When you're earthing, when you put your feet on the ground, that's to, what do they call it? Neutralize positive ions.
Okay.
So it's pumping positive ions into the house in order to kill things. And it does also then put negative ions, but know that you are being exposed to something that's actively pumping out these ions to try to kill things and then neutralize that killing. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. And I know they use it in hospitals, but they also use bleach on everything.
Totally,
in
yeah,
hospitals,
yeah.
And they have industrial air filters.
Right.
On top of whatever else there is that they're using. And if you're using anything that's making ozone, that is damaging. You're not supposed to be in the same space that ozone is being used at all. It will put holes into your lungs.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it's very effective and it's not for human contact. So it's best if done in a space, and then that's when no one's in it. And then that space is open, windows open, everything, air it out for 2 to 6 hours.
And that's definitely not what this stuff says for this thing.
It's not what it's. Is it running?
It's not on.
Next to my face.
No, it is over there, but it is not on.
Okay. And I don't know which one that is. I mean, they have two different models,
Mm-hmm.
and one is more in ozone. Like, yes, ozone is part of why it's what we want it to do. I would consider running it in my house, especially for like a weekend if I'm going out of town and then coming home and turning it off, opening all the windows and going out to dinner.
Right,
That
right.
would be something I would consider.
Man,
putting
I
on
sure
command.
notice a difference
Huh?
for sure. I had it running down here, I was doing it during the day and I was in the room. I have to look and see if that one's one of the ozone ones. But I don't think my house smells dusty or dirty or moldy, but it smelled fresher.
Nice.
And definitely noticed a huge difference in Jeanette's
One of the
basement
things
space.
about ozone is that it smells like fresh rain.
Ah, okay.
So, just pay attention if you're noticing any issues. Like,
But I have problems anyway because of the goddamn.
I mean,
Colognes
I
and
think it scrubs the air for sure. I'm not saying it doesn't work.
Yeah, but it's probably not something to have running all the time.
Whether or not it could be.
Wow.
I could see if I could share that. If I didn't delete it, because I do delete stuff in my chat threads just to free up space, you know. But if I didn't, then I could send it to you with like a shared link and you could read through it.
Yeah, that'd be helpful because Jeanette was running it in her room, and she was able to sleep with it running. But if it's causing more issues, I don't know. Often she's like, if something's helping me and it's also causing some damage later, it doesn't matter. I'm dying soon anyway.
She's so convinced she's dying soon.
Yeah, and then sometimes some light will break through, and do you know anything about the gene keys? Have you ever?
I have, yeah.
So the
Have you
one
ever
we
listen to it?
huh?
It's like robot voice.
No, she reads it,
Okay.
and we talk about it. But today, the one we read was talking specifically about how how your cells get cleaned out, basically. Like, I can't remember any of the words, but yeah, it gives hope for a lot can change, especially with a significant change in perspective or environment. That's why I'm so optimistic and excited about her moving here. Is even if she still goes sometime, this fall or something, I know her quality of life will have been higher, and I don't have to do so goddamn much driving. I do so fucking much driving.
She drives?
No, I do.
Oh.
When she's out in Clackamas. And so.
I sent you the.
Oh, awesome! Thank
Right.
you. Yeah. So
I did copy and paste some of the PDF shit that she shared.
Oh, good.
And put
Perfect.
it like
Great.
asked it. So
That's
like,
awesome. So yeah. So I've been like, make your son do the drive instead of me, because she keeps almost losing her nerve and staying out and wanting to stay out there. And I'm like, I think that's the fear of change. Come on, man. Like, really, everything will get easier. And she's coming around. It's just, you know how it is. Well, I don't know how long it's been since there's been something that you couldn't imagine, but you know how like if you can't even conceive of something and how great it can be, then how can you believe it?
about that with my relationship with Riley and bringing up. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, it is hard. I mean, it takes a lot of consistency because I know Sophia did it for me when she would go do stuff or learn stuff or whatever, and she'd be like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I've never heard that before.
Who's Sophia, yours?
Huh? What?
Who's Sophia?
Sophia Traeger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that would open my mind, crack something open, right?
Yeah.
And then eventually I'd be ready to experience it. I mean, Jeanette will literally fight me on it. She'll be like, that's not possible. It's not. But it's little tiny chips, and then one day she says, I've never had a friend like you. Okay, great. You never had a friend like me. And so then it makes sense for you to stop like treating me as if I'm treating you like every friend that you've had before, or like, you know what I mean? So like, I'm different. You said never had one like me. Mm-hmm. So then you don't really get to apply everything you learned to me, because I'm unlike any before.
Break down those logic.
Yeah. So it has cracked open a bit.
But it takes a lot of consistency. It takes a lot of consistency.
I hope it all works out. I mean, it's hard when you have a friend move in.
Oh, totally.
Sometimes. And also, I know that you're
I
kind
think
of
it'll-
like, listen, I'd rather the stress of my house, of a friend turned housemate than watch someone die that I care about.
Right. Yes, because I think that would happen quickly. And I don't have to get to know a new person. We have spent a lot of time together. In a lot of
everybody else in the house.
great. In a lot of different, the whole range, the whole spectrum of experience. That's a lot of time in the past, less than a year. So I feel really confident that my eyes are wide fucking open, and they're really, yeah, they're wide open. And a brand new person, I would be so stressed out for at least 6 months, minimum of 6 months. Because I wouldn't know what to expect. I'm like, what am I gonna have to navigate? What part of me are they looking at and going, that's so fucking weird that I'm gonna have to overcome later? I know what she thinks is weird about me, and she doesn't think it's as weird anymore as she used to, so we've also been able to experience that evolution of her accepting me more, of me accepting her more, her being open to the possibility that things could be different than they currently are. She's gone into remission 3 times. From this will kill you imminently, cancer. This is her 4th time of this will kill you imminently, cancer, and she's already outlived all of the predictions they made.
That would make it hard for me to believe it anytime I heard it after that.
Right, I keep kicking it. And so she's doing a lot of the same things again, and I sure see it. But anyway, I think it's going to get easier, and it'll get easier because it's not one-on-one all the time. Brian will help with the food and the snacks, and there'll be other people for her to talk
it's
to.
not like
and
she can't do those on occasion. Like, she cooks.
Oh no, she does. No, I'm just saying, I mean when we're working together, when we're in a work session, I'm on duty. I'm in service. I'm getting the food. I'm making sure she's got her beverages. I'm watching her signs of exhaustion. I'm in caregiver mode. And if there's someone around sometimes who I can be laying here and be like, hey, can you get us a snack, please? Just that alone would be astounding. So not having to be the only one. Anyway, I think it's gonna be easier in so many ways, and we won't spend so fucking much time in the car.
That sounds great. Having help. Yesterday I went paddleboarding with Phoenix. And Phoenix borrowed a paddleboard from her SO and drove to my house and picked me up and drove to where we went paddleboarding and brought extra things for me. All the things I would need to paddleboard.
Because you wouldn't know.
A bag to put my stuff in, a dry bag.
Dry bags are awesome, huh?
Took them out, pumped, filled them up. She's an electric pump, so it wasn't
Yeah.
And then when we were done, packed them,
up,
dried them down, both of them, packed them up.
Isn't that awesome?
And I was like, you were a great boyfriend today.
Yeah.
You were great. She goes, thanks.
Yeah.
She's like, I've thought about it, but how I said, I don't know, I feel like I've been getting close to the edge of misandry.
Of what?
Misandry?
I don't know what that means.
Misandry is the opposite of misogyny, like anti-male.
Oh, gosh, huh, okay. So funny, I've never heard that. I don't recall that word. It probably must be said way too infrequently.
Misandry is like man-hater.
I mean, you don't
hate
need a man to do those things. Friends can do those things for each other.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And I've been feeling like there's just no hope. Man. And she and I both talked about how it's like we're proof that sexual orientation isn't a choice. We had one of these when I was a baby.
When you were a baby?
One of the first videos of the house
old videos is me.
Mm-hmm.
My mom,
Mm-hmm.
in our first house that I had very limited memories of. Moved there when I was moved to our current house when I was 4.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a video much, but there's something on the floor, and she goes, "Whose panties are these?" Lenny, she called me Lenny. I love your panties. And then you come out onto the patio, and I'm on one of these, just naked, like,
You knew what's up.
Legs. Yeah. And she's like, "You put those panties on." And I'm going, "No, just a whole bunch, no." And then I go, "Ma, ma, ma," like I got myself.
That's all on camera? That's all on video?
Yeah.
That's so good.
And then the camera goes off, like as I'm.
So this is just me, like hit waist down. Is that cool?
I don't care.
Okay. That's hilarious. I love that so much. But there's also the whole naked thing. Like it's really too bad how early we started with. You always have to have covering on you of some kind, especially your
preaching to the choir.
private parts. Yeah. No, we're gonna.
It's one of my formative memories is being told I have to wear a shirt, even though Dad doesn't have to wear a shirt. It's
Like there's nothing different going
about
on here.
trans so much because I'm exposed to so much trans people now in my community, and I feel really, like this is good to like know more about trans community because I don't really like. I mean, there's several conversations to be had about rights. And those are valid, and that's not what I'm talking about here.
Right.
What I'm talking about and thinking about is this concept that someone knows. Like, you talk to some trans people, and they're like, "I knew I was a man." And someone was like, "I just knew I was a woman." And I'm like, I didn't. I didn't know until I was told. I was very, learned, what do you mean I can't wear no shirt?
Right.
Dad does it
Right.
in the yard.
Right.
And they were like, "That's because Dad's a boy." And I know that they, I never saw my dad's privates.
Right.
And I had my sister and my mom and my grandma. I knew that he was a boy. I didn't fully understand what made the difference.
Right.
Because I didn't have
wonder how
siblings with
many-
penises.
If there how many kids is that their true baseline? Is like what difference does it make? I'm just a me.
Right, and I feel
Until
like
they
I went
learn.
from being a child with no gender to being a young woman. And even in teen years, I think if I had been, my mom always called me a tomboy.
Me too.
My first friend was a boy, and we caught frogs and climbed trees together. I didn't really get the attention I wanted from my dad in general most of my life. And there was this idea that if I was a boy, I would have.
Right.
I thought that for sure. And then I started to become what is considered pretty for girls. And I got lots of attention from not my dad, but from boys. And I think to myself, if I had been male, I would have had a very different experience of self-worth because attention came to me without me needing to seek it because I was pretty. And I think about boys, I think I would have been an awkward boy. I think I would have really struggled as a boy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know
You don't
sure.
know for sure, but
I definitely didn't have to overcome the things that teen boys do.
right.
And I just think about those awkward birds learning, they're practicing their dances together
Right,
before they go to be a girl bird. And
Right.
did you like it?
Yeah.
And
Their bodies grow so fast and how can they don't even know where they are in space? There's years where a boy's body's growing so fast
yeah,
that they're no wonder
they're gonna
get
tip over.
a lot of bruises, a lot of anyway.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
when I hear trans folks
say that they knew,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, first of all, how did you know?
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, if it's a male to female,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you chose this?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think I would have chose this one.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, maybe I would have once I got into my teen years and realized how hard it is to be a boy.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been like, no, I want the other one. You know? But in adulthood and in childhood, I probably wouldn't be a woman. Like, I am a woman today because of the experiences I've had, but not because I'm inherently, to my knowledge, aware of that gender in a visceral sense. That being said, I'm very governed by my period. And I almost wonder if that's why I have such a strong cognitive relationship with my period. Because it's like I'm a male experiencing something I have to start learning how to be with.
Right. Yeah.
And so I'm like, got it on a calendar. What to expect? Oh, this is weird. I woke up this morning feeling real confident, and now I'm crying. You know? And so, yeah, that's been on my mind lately about gender.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. That is really interesting. Because I guess I wouldn't remember my most earliest formative years, but I think by watching my daughter, I think I had a very clear feminine sense straight from the get-go. And she definitely did. Like, even though we're just like, you wear whatever you want. And she even said recently, she's like, what did you guys do? Because I seem to be the most accepting person of all of my friends. And they're all going, my parents taught me some fucked up shit, and I'm just now realizing all these weird ways that I saw the world. And I was like, I don't know what we did. Maybe it was you. Taking it well. But she just really always gravitated towards the pretty things, you know, and the girly things. She just always gravitated, that way.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that I gravitated toward like beautiful things.
It was difficult for me because I was definitely a tomboy, but I lived in an environment where it was so incredibly painful to try and be pretty, to have pretty things, to be clean. It wasn't even possible to be clean. And so
I didn't want to be clean. I was a little
I'm
dirt child running around and
highly
fighting my mom to get
sensitive.
into a bath.
I'm very highly sensitive to sensory feelings of stickiness or dirty or whatever.
Yeah.
Cold, hot. I was almost never hot, but I had to, for my own sanity, really orient towards tomboy. But when I had opportunities to wear something pretty, it meant a lot to me. And it was rare. Very, 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 very rare.
If I was put into something pretty, it was also uncomfortable.
Definitely, because I wasn't familiar with it. I did have to, it took me years to start wearing
physically uncomfortable.
women's things. Yeah.
Like, I'm like, ruffles.
Usually they were, itchy.
In the 80s, they were ruffles. We had a lot of very ruffly dresses.
Yeah, or
for
polyester.
Easter and for Christmas.
Yeah.
Had like gold on them and stuff.
Yeah, all of it was itchy. Anyway.
I didn't like the process of getting my hair done.
Oh my god. My mom would say, like, beauty is pain.
My mom cut my hair off. It told me if I wasn't gonna brush it, I had to have it cut off. And then when we went to the hairdresser, she told him to cut it off. And I wanted a rat tail. But my mom was like, don't let her have a rat tail. And so they cut it into a little tiny V in the back. And I was like, it's my rat tail. And I had no hair. I was a boy. I had boy hair.
It's easier.
Young. Like,
do you want to do that thing?
Yeah.
That bioresonance thing? Can you show it to me first and kind of explain it, and I'll put that on camera.
I love this.
Isn't cute?
And then there's slightly larger ones.
But they're a little. The one I love.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Oh, I can
I'm gonna move this to the chair. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, totally. It doesn't live there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna move this to here for while we're running it.
And
I
we'll
do have to
unplug this.
I do have to plug it in somewhere.
We're gonna, right there. But you're not turning it on when my camera's nearby.
No, I'm waiting for you.
That's, this one's mine.
That was yours.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Let's make sure that it's, come on, man. Okay.
This is the coil. This is what we'll be holding. Oh, it's gotten a little pilly, but it's clean.
Oh, we hold that?
We'll put it between us, but when you're doing it alone, you would have it on your torso somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'll plug that into this.
You get the right angle. I can't get the angle. I don't know what she's doing.
So what does this do? Bioresonance, right? Is that what it's called?
Magnetic resonance, actually.
Magnetic resonance.
I mean, people call it bioresonance, but it's or P.
Do some on your.
Bottle. A little bit. Not enough to hurt anything. PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic frequencies.
Okay.
You've heard of that probably. And this is kind of like that. It's like PEMF plus in that a pulsed electromagnetic frequencies usually are like a rife machine or something. Like
Right.
Spooky 2 is one of them. It's real popular because it's cheap. And then they had this one that was like a MLM going around for a while.
Interesting.
And it kind of would like, you'd put it on your wrist in a band and it would do like these little intermittent shocks type of thing. Like like when you lick a 9-volt, but it's,
yeah.
and it's like good for you. But this is actually emitting a resonance, and I have a magnet here for you to feel it when we turn it on.
Because you'll feel it in the magnet.
Yeah, you
Oh,
hold
wow.
it over the
Okay. It's not a special magnet, it's just a normal
It's
magnet.
just a normal
In a
magnet,
little
but
piece of
aren't
cloth.
all magnets special?
Pretty
Cool.
I know what I mean.
Okay, tablet, amp, power. There's a certain order. You don't need to know all that.
It's just cool to see, though.
And so by emitting a resonance, you're saying, and we'll hear a sound.
You might hear a sound.
Oh,
There's a sound that makes it go, like it does a sound
okay.
test initially
Okay.
to make it sure that it's working, but then it's
Okay.
mostly silent, and
Okay.
sometimes you'll hear like a.
Interesting. Good. Okay. Cool.
It's almost, I like to describe it as like a gong bath, but silent.
Okay. Cool.
So it's the reverberations are happening around
Awesome.
you, even if you don't feel them.
Because sometimes I love a gong bath, but sometimes it hurts. If it's
You
my
can
head.
always wear earplugs at a gong bath because it's not the noise that is the healing; it's a reverberation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna take out my hearing aids to keep
Okay.
them safe from the.
Yeah. Wait, is that close though? Oh, it's just that thing you gotta
This
keep it
is
away
what
from.
emits the frequencies.
Okay.
It's a coil. I can unzip it so you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a modified Tesla coil, is what they call it.
Kick-ass. Modified Tesla
It's
coil.
a whole bunch of metal coiled up and taped up with this special tape.
Okay.
And this is to keep oils off of, the adhesive and from breaking down. Oh, my keys.
So we're just gonna, do you want, should we take some pillows off so we're fully lying down? Because this,
We're gonna lay down in any way that's comfortable.
okay, well, let's move some of this shit. Oh, I have oranges if you want that sort of snack. Okay, I'm gonna want a blanket, and that's a blanket too if you want it.
Okay. I'll put this this way?
Yeah. And how long?
The program I'm gonna run is, I think, 20 minutes.
Okay.
running one called Demo Harmonizer.
Okay.
It runs through a few different frequencies and it's mild and it's not for like treating anything as much as it is for restoring balance.
Could Lisa do it too?
I mean,
Or not really,
yes,
because we have to be on.
the closer you are to it, the better.
Right.
I mean, some people will say, you don't even need to be, I could run it here, and you, as long as we just tune into it, you could be in Phoenix, you know what I mean? And some people do the distance healing thing. I personally haven't. Do you know where that Megan went?
We're gonna do a, what's it called again? No,
It's called an amp coil, is what the machine is.
but what would you, I don't,
Bioresonance.
bioresonance.
Pulse
Treatment.
electromagnetic frequency.
You're welcome to join if you want, or just tell you about it later. We're just gonna lay here and. Put my food away.
Okay, so,
26 minutes and 52 seconds, so 27 minutes.
but if I get the wiggles or something, I can get up, but I probably should really just rest.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
just relax.
okay.
I like to imagine white light
Mm-hmm.
cleaning all my cells to assist it. You know, like I meditate.
Maybe I should get a face mask, an eye mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Well, we can, ooh, dang. Well, I want to talk about this after, but since my phone has to be away, I'm going to put it away and then we can talk about it after on here.
I'm a baby.
Yeah, okay.